Hi, this is Sadiq. Let's start this training, and I request Mr. Hamad Hassan to share his first name, last name, and his degree, his experience, and his expectation regarding this training. Yeah, Mr. Hamad, you unmute yourself and please share the information.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm Hamad Hassan. My first name is Hamad and my last name is Hassan. And I have done MSCS.
MSc or MS?
MSCS. MSc in computer science, you can say that.
Okay, and your experience?
Currently I'm working in a software house. It's Systems Limited, and I'm doing a project. It's a BI project.
No, no, I'm
I
just
have
just
involved
just
in the.
just asking for the duration of your experience. How long you have?
I have experience of only 6 months, I guess.
6 months. Okay. So what's your expectation from this training?
I wanted to learn SAP as much as I can, and I'm very looking forward to it, and I'm very interested.
Okay. So like you said you want to know SAP, but at SAP is
Yeah.
delivering a lot of softwares, lot of services. So in which specific area you are interested in?
Overall, I want to know about SAP first, then I will go into the SAP, BW, and BI.
BW. Okay. Any other thing you want to highlight?
I would say I would love to know about HANA as well.
Okay. So next participant is Howard, and please mute yourself now. Mr. Howard. Mr. Howard, are you there? Mr. Howard, are you there? Mr. Howard, you can unmute by pressing this button. So you will be unmuted. Yeah, please go on. Yeah, we see you unmuted. Maybe you have some problem with your mic.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Mr. Howard, please share your degree.
Uh, okay. Uh, uh, my where I've done I SAP the learn
Your
for that
your voice is getting
business. So
broken.
hello.
Yes, please.
It yeah. So I did graduation in computer science information technology CSI.
Okay, you can share this information in text box as well. So we can type.
Okay.
Mr. Vahid, you go on, please. Unmute yourself and share the information as we are requesting.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Wahid. First name is Muhammad, the last name is Wahid.
Okay.
And my last degree is Masters in BI.
Okay. Your number of years?
Total number of experiences almost 8 years.
8 years. And your expectation from this training?
I've actually I want to know the SAP BI stack, what they have uh, altogether from end-to-end perspective.
So SAP has lot of things. If you like interested in SAP ERP or SAP BW or SAP like other stuff like CRM, MDM or business intelligence, business warehouse. So what's the specific thing you're looking for?
More specifically, I would be looking towards the BI part of it, like the business objects BW, and more specifically, yeah, these two tools specifically.
Okay, thank you, thank you. So Mr. Haber has 13 years of experience. He did graduation and CSIT, computer science, information technology. So 13 years. And area is SAP, BI, BO, like stuff is PS. Okay. Mr. Nasib Zaman.
Yes, sir. Yeah, first name Naseeb. Hi, everyone. Last name Zaman.
Yes,
I'm
you're
an ACMA. ACMA, I'm an accountant.
okay. Experience,
I
number of
have, SAP and Oracle experience 10 years.
10 years. Total overall experience.
That's 35 years.
35 years. Great. And your expectation from these sessions?
Yeah, I am an accountant and I would like to practice as a consultant in BPC NetWeaver, which sits on top of BW and HANA. And I would like, though my preference is not to practice as a BI modeler or a BI consultant, but I would like to have an expertise in BW as much as it is required for BPC data loading from ECC to BW and then BW to BPC and backwards. I would like to know BW in all.
Okay, okay, that's great. That's great. Thank you. Mr. Sadakat.
Hi everyone. First name Sadakat, last name Ali. BS in CS, my degree, and total experience is 5 years.
Your expectation.
Well, I am new to this SAP. I have experience in data warehousing and Cognos BI, but I want to learn basic SAP and BI, BW and BI. But I am new to this SAP.
Okay. Yeah, just give me a moment. Hello. Hello. Assalamu alaikum. So we are on the meeting. So you just join that using that invite. Hello, join us on the invite. Meeting is in progress. Meeting is in progress. You can join it. Meeting is in progress. You can join. Hello. Okay, Mr. Sudhakar, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. Okay, please go on.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, please. So you have
So
a
I was telling you that
data warehousing experience. So using which tools?
yeah, uh, data stage,
Okay, okay, good.
but
So
not advanced level, but basic uh, level you can say.
okay,
And Cognos BI.
okay, good. So Mr. Shahab, Mr. Shahab,
Oh, assalamu alaikum everybody. Sorry that I forgot to unmute myself.
no problem, no problem.
So this is Shahab Malik and I did MCOM and I have more than 10 years experience and I am using SAP as an end user, so I need to know more about business warehouse, material management and more into supply chain area.
Business warehouse, supply chain, and what else?
Material management, those are the tools I'm using as an
Okay,
end user.
okay. Mr. Wakar,
Hi, this is Wakar Ahmed. I have done BS in computer science and I have around 5 years of experience. The expectation from this course is to learn SAP BW and a little bit about SAP HANA.
okay. I'm sorry, I forgot the degree. You did BS or MS?
BS in computer science.
Okay, 5 year experience. And you want
Correct.
to learn SAP BW.
Yes, and if possible, a little bit SAP HANA.
SAP HANA. Okay, so thanks everybody for this information. So let me set the expectation. So I shared the table of contents for this training. This is specifically with the SAP BW. It's the Enterprise Data Warehouse. So in this training, we will cover SAP BW, but we will not be covering like the general know-how of SAP, like ERPs or they have lot of other solutions. So maybe it take years to cover SAP. So we will be specifically focusing on SAP BW and we will be not working on SAP BI. And in a while, we will try to know the difference between SAP BW and SAP BI. And SAP HANA. So this course SAP BW is on HANA. So in the backend, people will be using SAP HANA, but we will not talk about SAP HANA. So maybe later on we will start some other course which will be covering SAP HANA and SAP BI. So for Mr. Howard side, so we okay. So we will be covering SAP BW. So it's not BI, it's not BO. So it's specifically the data warehouse. So we will try to learn in this session what's a data warehouse and what's the difference between BI and business warehouse or data warehouse. So Mr. Wahid, so we will be covering BW. So Mr. Naseeb Zaman, we will be perfectly up to your expectations. Sadakat, we will be covering BW. And for Mr. Shahab, we will not be touching supply chain or MM or any SAP ERP module. So this is very specific to SAP BW. Definitely we will be fetching the data from ERP. Maybe we will be fetching the data from material management, maybe from SD, from maybe PP or maybe HCM. So we definitely fetching the data and having the like structures for those data sets, and we may be doing some a little bit reporting on that. So but as far supply chain management or material management is concerned, we will not be touching on those specific functional areas. So for Garali, so definitely we will be covering SAP BW but not SAP HANA. So this is just to set the expectation. Okay. Okay, let's have some discussion on high level discussion on this. You people can see my screen? Could you kindly confirm and
Yes,
Yeah.
perfectly.
okay, good. So this is we will be covering SAP BW 310, and in my table of contents I shared the link. This is the SAP provided training which we try to cover. So if you want me to show that link again, let me do that for you. So you will be having the visibility. So basically it's a 5 days training. It's about 40 hours and we scheduled in the same way. So and the same contents I copied from here. So there will be follow-up trainings like BW 320, 330, 340, 362. There are a lot of BW trainings, but after completing this, we will mutually decide. So what's the next? So I will share this. So I have this SAP material. This is SAP BW Enterprise Data Warehouse. So I will share the link so you people can download and work on this. So it's about 589 pages. So we try to cover this manual in the coming like I guess about 10 sessions. So today we try to cover up to units 2. So you people will be going to read all this stuff. So that's something about this. And I have something else to show. Like I have some pre-recorded and some other trainings. So I will share the link with you people. So if you have something to extra do, so you people can do. I have this SAP BW training. It has about 9 sessions, and each session is about 4 hours. So it's a wonderful training. So you people can download and go through this training. I have another training. This is again the videos. So I will share the links of these two trainings so you people will be like viewing these videos and working with the system. Okay, that's something about the material which I'm going to share with you people. And the other thing is you people need to have the system access. So So you need to have the system access. I rented a system from somebody from India. So I can share the contact details of that guy. And there are a lot of other vendors. If you do a little Google, so you will be able to find. And they cost from, I guess, about 1,000 to 2,500 Pakistani rupees. So that's something you people need to have on your own. So I don't have that facility. So that's up to you people. So when you need to practice, you need to have access to some system. So that's for that I can share the links of some vendors so you people can coordinate with them directly, and then you people can use that services as well. So if you have any question up to now, so please share. Anybody having any question?
Um, Sadiq, not a question, just a comment. Yes, we will need the contact details of the person or the vendors so that we can practice out the stuff we are learning in the sessions.
Yeah, sure, definitely. You send me a notes, I will send you the contact details. And another thing is I bought a server for this purpose, but that server's got some malfunctioning. So today I sent that to the uh, shop. So when I will get that, and then I will try to install this SAP BW for you people. So when that's available, I can share that with you. But right now, if you want, you can have to get the system access. So any other comment? Okay, no comment is good. So we covered this. Okay. So let's talk about something about enterprise data warehouse. So as you people know, like the hardware prices, specifically CPU and the hard disk and SSD storage, lot of these stuff are getting cheaper and cheaper. That's one thing. The other thing is the you have a lot of applications, maybe mobile applications. You have social media. You have your OLTP systems. You have a lot of applications which are getting the data, and the volume is enormous. And the other thing is the you want to capture the finer or minor details of everything. So the problem for this innovation is that you have a huge volume of data in much more detailed format. So when you people need to do the reporting on this, so what's the difficulty? The difficulty is like it impact the online transactional processing systems, your operational systems, and that's one thing. The other thing is those systems, OLTP systems, are specifically to 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 capture the information and to store the information in the system. So that's not for the reporting or analysis purposes. So in order to do the reporting or analysis, you people need to reduce the volume of the data. How you can do that? You can do that by homogenizing, by cleansing, by like aggregating, and And another thing is you people need to have specific structures. So that structures are optimized for data retrieval, because here you're just going to view the data. You just need to get the data for the analysis purposes. So here you will not be like storing the data. So I want everybody should take 1 minute and comment on this area. Yes, Mr. Hamad Hassan, what's your feeling and your observation? Mr. Hamad, are you there? Mr. Howard Said, Mr. Wahid,
Yes, Ravi. I think what I understand from enterprise data warehouse, as you already said, like uh, organizations have a lot of uh, operational systems and they are disparate systems. And once they want to bring in a holistic picture of all the data they have, they need to have it consolidated into a single repository where they can have those analysis part of it. So I think enterprise data warehouse provide them the platform to analyze their data across all their systems. And you very rightly said that it needs to have a structure because there we are not going to do the create, read, update, create or say update or delete operation. It's just the read operations there. So that's what I understand from PDW.
thank you, Wahid. You said very rightly, like with passage of time, even you have SAP ERP, but later on you discover you need some other specialized applications which need the special need of your business. So in all the big organizations, you never see like they're just having one ERP solution. They're having a lot of applications, and later on they want to integrate the data from all those applications. So for that purpose, you people need to have the data warehouse. And when we say enterprise, so that means it's a data warehouse capturing the data from all the applications in the entire enterprise. Mr. Nasib Zaman, please comment 1 minute so you have a fair
Yes,
understanding
sir.
of this.
Yes, sir. Live production systems, ERP systems, whether they're Oracle, SAP, they are designed to capture granular and detailed information. As businesses go on, there is a big history of data, historical data developed in the ERP systems. And to perform analysis on the same, it definitely affects the performance of those systems. So for decision making, for analysis, often granular data is not required. Some kind of summarized and aggregated data is required. And at the same time, whatever system is running in an organization, there is market data like Dun and Bradstreet. There is a lot of flat files. There can be disparate, other systems. So a BW is designed to capture data not only from SAP system or Oracle, but also from other sources. And it is aggregated and summarized, and it's especially the tools, the analytical tools are designed for very fast processing. For example, BI accelerators are installed with, with the help of which millions of records are sorted out and reported upon.
Thank you, sir, for summarizing and putting all the words or the sentences in a beautiful structure. So we appreciate. So, Mr. Shahab.
As far as I understand, this enterprise data warehousing is to collect all the data from all the different applications running. So it's lots of calibration involved in this thing.
Okay, good. Thank you. Mr. Wakat.
Yes, as some of the professionals have pointed out that in the organization we have different data sources, we have different systems, and we need to merge them all, which is a very painstaking process. So, to enterprise data warehousing gives you a picture uh, by uh, merging data and gives you one true version of your information.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So as you all people pointed out very rightly, so this enterprise data warehouse, we people will be having lot of applications. As Mr. Nasib Zaman pointed out, like we might be having SAP ERP, we might be having Oracle e-business suite, we may be having even BW. So maybe in a organization they have a data warehouse, maybe built in data stage or some other tool. So and we might have lot of 20, 30 other applications generating lot of data. So so in enterprise data warehouse, I'm not trying to like give you the idea. So what we people will be doing in the coming 10 sessions. So what's the scope of our sessions or the discussion? So we people will be fetching data from a variety of sources. So those might be flat files, those might be databases, those might be business warehouse, and interestingly, that might be SAP BW. For instance, you're going to have enterprise data warehouse for United States. A company is United States, and that company has other systems in different countries. And in those countries, there are business warehouses already developed and built. So what you people need to do, you need to get the information from all those data warehouses as well and consolidate in the big enterprise data warehouse which is at the global level. So this is one thing. So we people need to learn how to fetch, how to connect with the different data sources, what are the different technologies SAP BW provide to connect with different data sources, and how we fetch the data from those sources and put in the data warehouses. So that's the one thing. And the other thing is, as we seen in the, we're looking at the current slide. So then we need to structure the data. So structuring is one thing, but before doing the structuring, you need to create the objects containing the data which you are fetching from the other external sources. So for the external sources, you need to create the objects which will contain that data, and with those objects you're going to create the structure. So we will learn maybe in the next session or maybe in the third section, so what type of structures are being supported in enterprise data warehouse which is being developed by SAP BW, which is optimum, which is like taking very less resources to contain the data. So that's one thing. And later on, when we have the structures and we put the data in those structures, and then we try to reduce the size of those structures. How we can do that, we will learn as we proceed. So I want Mr. Wahid to summarize what I said right now, and then we move forward. Mr. Wahid.
I think you already summarized it very nicely, ranging from all the operational system in a global organization or a national organization can have, and then on the top of it, building uh, a, a warehouse for the data for their analysis. So that's what we call a enterprise data warehouse. And apart from the operational system, there might be uh, uh, departmentalized Excel files or the text files as well, which they might want to have into their enterprise data warehouse as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I hope everybody able to understand the scope of these sessions and the scope of this training. So in this training, we will learn to fetch data from a variety of sources. And when you fetch the data, and you have to store that data in some objects, and those objects need to be structured. So what structure you're going to use, it depends upon a lot of factors. So what's the granular level you want to have? And and for that, so you people need to like do the aggregation as well. So we will learn all these things as we move forward. So so we able to learn what's a data warehouse. So it's a warehouse containing the data. So my next question is, what's business intelligence? So then I can say, like, the business intelligence is the combination of data warehouse and the reporting which you develop based on that data warehouse. So that's the definition for business intelligence, which makes some sense to me. We you people are open for discussion, so we give 1 minute to everybody, so they what's in their mind about the business intelligence. And I tell you one thing about SAP BW. This SAP BW is to me, it's the single tool which do end to end business intelligence. Previously, we call this SAP BW as SAP BI, because it has the capability to do the reporting. But in 2007, SAP bought SAP Business Objects, and they moved all the reporting functionality of SAP BW to SAP Business Objects, because they want to, because there are a lot of factors. The one factor is the SAP Business Objects is more friendly, and the people intend to do the reporting using that tool, and they were using SAP BW as a business warehouse. They were not using the reporting capability of SAP BW. So SAP bought SAP Business Objects, and later on they moved the reporting part to business objects, and they call that business objects as business intelligence these days. So, but the important thing is this SAP BW is evolved in several years. So in the whole world, lot of peoples developed lot of reporting in different areas. So how we can leverage that thing? So SAP provide, like SAP Business Objects provide the functionality, they provide the capability to leverage the existing reports which are being developed in SAP data warehouse. So we will learn all these things as we move along. So I gave 1 minute to everybody to talk about what's in their mind, what's their perception about business intelligence. Mr. Howard.
Hello.
Yes, please go on.
Yes, for business intelligence, personally, that right, that's of plus reporting.
We people not
Uh,
able to hear
what the
you
yeah,
exactly. So you put your comments on the chat, so we will read that together. So I asked Mr.
okay.
Wahid to say something.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I think business intelligence is a kind of umbrella terms, basically that refers to a variety of applications, and it has a variety of application to basically store the data in a format which can be retrieved, the raw data of the organization, and it also include related activities which might include the data mining, the online analytical processing, the query and the reporting part of any organization. That's what I understand about the BI.
Yeah. Good. Great. Great. And it also includes the administration, the monitoring capability. So all these features should be available in data warehouse as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, Mr. Howard said, like, what about ETL? So this SAP B business warehouse. So in this, it gives you the capability to do the ETL as well. So you can extract data from any source, you can do the transformation, and you can load it to any target. So we will learn this today. Mr. Nasib Zaman, you there? Sadakat Ali.
Uh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. What my understanding is, business intelligence is a form of interface for the end users, whom we are generating these reports. The reporting is based on the data warehousing. It's constructed in a way that it's easy for fetching the data. Uh, we have already talked about the warehouse. So business intelligence is basically the reporting or the interface for the reporting. It also has many different things as well. So basically, is the what my understanding is, it's the interface or the access point for the users to view the reporting.
Okay, great. Mr. Shahab.
Yes, I agree with Sadaka. That's what my understanding was, that it should be the end user interface, how to present uh, the reporting thing, how we take the data out from all the applications and present it in a proper way,
Okay, good.
in
Mr.
a
Wakar.
in sufficient way.
Okay, good. Mr. Wakar.
For me, business intelligence is a very broad term in terms that you have to first transform your data into information which will be useful for your business decision makers in their decision making, and in that process, reporting comes, enterprise data warehousing comes, also advanced analytics will be part of business intelligence.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Wakar. Okay, let me move to the next slide. So So in a business, you people need to automate the business processes. So in order to automate the business processes, you're going to use some system, and we call that system as OLTP, Online Transactional Processing System. So for instance, you use the credit card or you use the debit card in ATM machines. So there is some system uh, who is facilitating the transaction. So we call that system as OLTP, online, because it's doing everything online real time. So when you insert the card. So your ATM machine is connected with the database, getting the information, validate your PIN and other stuff. You're checking your balance and a lot of other things going on behind the scene. So I guess that's enough for OLTP. So that's the transactional processing system. So using that OLTP, using those operational systems, we're trying to build the OLAP environment. OLAP is online analytical processing systems. So in order to that, in order to build that application, we need to do the business warehouse. So let me show you like this thing. So for instance, you have some sales order. This is the step one. You check the availability, and then outbound delivery, transportation, picking, goods issue, billing, payment processing. So this is basically a life cycle for if you want to make some sale. So you did this in each step you are capturing, you are having certain data. So there are broadly two types of data. The one is master data, the other one is transactional data. So here the master examples for master data might be if you are selling something, your product name, that might be your master data. The price of your products, your employees who's making the sales, your plants. So all these things are your master data. And what's the transactional data? So when you make the sale of certain products, so how many products you sell? For instance, you sell 2 products, and what's the price? What's the money you're going to get? So that's sort of transactions, and transactional data we store in some other place. So broadly, we categorize the data as master data, which is not frequently changed. So this transactional data is being changed every day. For instance, for the credit card system, so your PIN number, it's the master data. Your ID, your ATM or credit card number or debit card number is the master data. So when you insert your card and make some transaction, you draw 50,000 rupee, that's a transaction. You deposit something in your bank account by check or some other means, so that's a transaction. So we broadly separate the data in two parts. So one is the master, the other is transactional data. And likewise, we do this like separation when we designing and building the OLTP systems. And we do the same thing when we develop the OLAP environments. So this distinction is very important. So we see in a while, so what's a master data, what's a transactional data. For instance, today I get the information about all my participants, their first name, last name, their degree and other. This is master data or transactional data. This is the master data. Now, if I start taking the attendance of my participants, today I mark like who is present, who is absent. So that's one thing. And in the next session, I repeat the same thing. I just mark the attendance. So that's the transactional thing. So I hope I was able to explain the difference between master data and transactional data. So you have a application and that has the master data and the transactional data, and there is not just one application, there are a lot many applications. So from all those applications, every application has its own master data. So when you need to put all the data from all the application in one big huge data warehouse, so what's the challenge? The challenge is that the product name in different applications may be slightly different. The date format may be slightly different. There are lot many other differences you people can see. So you people need to homogenize. That's the one thing. Other thing is you need to clean the data. what's in that area. So in some applications, you make certain fields as mandatory, but when you're doing the transactional, when you do the transaction, that data is not available from the customer or from somebody. So what you do in that case? You will not do that transaction? No, that's not the case. You have to do the transaction. You have to record that thing. So what you do in that case? You put some dummy data for that field. So that's a noise. That's the one scenario. So you need to clean it. So the other scenario is maybe in certain fields you never capture anything. So it contains all nulls. There are a lot of other scenarios where you have to clean the data. So we get the master and transactional data from all the systems, flat files, all the data sources. We do the homogenization, we do the cleansing, and we put that data in a specific and certain structure. That's the objective of data warehouse, structuring the data. And each structure having its own objects. So we people will define the objects which are in the data warehouse and how we structure those objects. So because you now have all the data from all your applications, the entire enterprise data is in this data warehouse. So what's the next thing? So from this huge data, you can generate the reports, you can analyze that data, and on the basis of that analysis, you have generated certain knowledge. And on the basis of that knowledge, you can develop a strategy. If it's going good, you want to make it even more better. If it's going bad, you have to improve it. So you're going to evolve certain strategy. So you develop the strategy, and that strategy, by implementing that strategy, then you have to have another cycle. You have to go through the cycle. So what's how that strategy is impacting your business, your operations. So you having, with passage of time, new data, you put that new data in the data warehouse, you develop new knowledge, and you know something informative. So this slide is showing the informative environment and the operative environment, and both these two environments go hand in hand. So I give 1 minute to everyone to talk about on this slide, and then we move on. I give the opportunity to Mr. Howard. Mr. Wahid.
I think it's very much nicely explained that in an we have two kind of environments: operative environment and the informative environment, and both goes hands in hands as shown in the slide. We take pull out the data from our transactional system, which also includes the master data, and then homogenize, as you explained, and cleans it, put into data warehouse, generate the knowledge, the patterns out of it, and then we ingest it back to improve our business strategy so that our operations are improved and business bottom line is increased.
Good, thank you. Mr. Naseeb, I love to hear something from you. Mr. Naseeb, are you there? Mr. Wakar.
As described by you and Wahid, that this is a slide which is explaining the OLTP and OLAP system side by side. As I'm working for Ministry of Health, where we have master data like the list of clients, like the detail of the clients or the detail of the hospitals are the master data. but transaction data, you can say that the clients visiting the hospitals are transactions. We then clean it. Let's suppose if some data is missing from our from the input team, then we do some cleansing, we do apply some business rules, and enter that in the data warehouse, the structure that we have developed for reporting. So this is
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, let me show you another slide. So what's the architecture of SAP BW? So the architecture, it's a three-tier architecture. But basically, we people will be using just two tiers. The third tier, which was being developed by SAP BW, is not being used in these days. That tier is being replaced by SAP Business Objects or some other tool like Tableau or some other visualization tools. So in the first layer, you having the source systems. So what this source system means? Source system means those systems which provide you the data. So those source systems may be ERPs, SAP ERPs, Oracle ERPs, even SAP BW or flat files or anything. So you have to fetch the data from the source system and then you put that data in a PSA. This PSA is a persistent storage area. So that data when you which you fetch from the source system, you put in PSA, that we call it a data source. So data source or PSA are synonym. So and what you do later on, you put that data which you this data is in data warehouse. If you see this big block, so there are three blocks. The one block is the source system, the other one is the data warehouse, and the other one is the reporting layer. So in the data warehouse, you have the PSA. This is the part of data warehouse. And top of that persistent storage area, you have the BW info providers. So what that info provider means? Info provider means are those objects which are being used in the reporting layer. So that reporting layer may be the Business Explorer suite, which we talked about a little in this session, or you can use that object in Business Objects or some other reporting tool. So info providers are those objects which are being used in querying. If in an object you're not able to do the query, so that's not the info provider. For instance, if I relate this concept with the database, so how you get the information from the database? Can you can you query on the field? Only field? No. You have to connect with the database and then you query on a table. And for that table, you fetch certain fields. I hope I was able to explain. So this info provider is something which has the information for the reporting purposes. And how you develop these info providers, so those are structured. So here some objects are named here, like characteristic info object, data store objects, info cube, multi providers. They are some other as well. So we will learn during this during these sessions. We will try to extract the data, we try to connect with every source, we try to fetch the data and put in PSA, and then we try to learn each type of info provider. Info provider is in fact the structured data which is available in the data warehouse and can be consumed in a reporting tool. So that's something regarding this slide. So SAP provide the data warehouse workbench. So this is something people need to see at this point in time, and that's something wonderful. So let me connect with the SAP BW and to with the how we can do that. So SAP is installed on some server, on some remote machine, and on your desktop or on your client machine, you have to install this SAP client, SAP logon. So when you click here, this is GUI for Windows. So you see the shortcuts, these are the connections. So if I connect here and let me show you the properties. So it show you like the application server name, the instance, and you give a 3-letter system ID as well. So this is something, these are the connection parameters. So when I click here, it lead me to the login screen. So I need to give the user information. I need to give the password and then the logon language. So in this screen, you see two different things. The number one is client and the number two is logon language. So let's talk about this language thing first. SAP provide, I guess, about maybe 100 plus or like 100 support for lot many languages. So if you write here DE, then you will be seeing all the things in German. If you write here FR, then everything will be in French. So here you need to decide. So which language you want to see. The default is English. So that's something about the logon language. So SAP BW and SAP other products support multi-languages. Okay, this client. So this is client 001. Okay, so you have up to, it's a 3-digit client, so you have up to 999 clients. So 1000 clients you can create. Okay, so what's the purpose of these clients? The purpose of these clients is if you have client 001 and you have another client 002, then both these two clients having separate data. So that one client cannot see the data of the other client. So it gives the separation. For instance, you have you can use this for dev, you can use this for QA, you can do this for production. You have different clients. So there is just one instance. We call it instance. Instance mean in SAP, it's the like installation. It's a major thing. It's the installation of SAP on one hardware component. So on one hardware, you install SAP, and how many replications of that software you can have? It's up to 1000. So that's we call the client. So behind the scenes, you don't have to install different instances if you want to separate the data. So that's a functionality SAP provides. So for more information, you can do some Google. So just type SAP and then client. You will be having lot of information. So I suggest you spend 5-10 minutes on it. So client and instance and SAP. Use 3 keywords. You will get other information. So you click this check mark. So let me give the object password. Okay. So the previously message was like how many failed attempts. I had just one failed attempt. So this is the interface for SAP BW, and this is the same interface for SAP ERP. And this is we call it the SAP color. This is a light bluish color. You keep working on this screen for 24 by 7. You will be it will not harm your eyes. So they did lot of research on this color. So but if you like some having some bright color, there is a option you can do that. So this is not something we're going to do right now. So this is called the command window, you can call it. So there is another functionality in SAP which is very important. So if you go to this area command window, you press F1. So you will be having the help functionality. So this in command field. So what you need to do? So you need to give a transaction code. So it gives lot of information here. You can read and when you have access to the system. So I'm not going here. So the transaction code is RSA1. This is the transaction code to enter in the enterprise data warehouse workbench. Let me do this. So you see here it's a start of application, enterprise data warehouse workbench. So in this we have a lot of areas. So this is the workbench where you can do everything. You can do the modeling, like you can create the objects, you can structure those objects, you can do the administration, you can do the transportation. So what this transportation means? This transportation means like you have a landscape of three systems like development, you have the testing system, and you have the production system. You work on a development environment, and later on you move those objects to the test. How you do that? SAP provide the mechanism. So you just it when you create something, you create some objects, it create a transport request. It gives you a number. So you can move that transport request from one system to another. So it provides you the mechanism to move your developed components from one system to another system. So this is something transport connection which is required. So and you have this document thing. If you have certain documents, so we'll talk about this later. But I want to spend some time on BI contents. The beauty of this SAP BW is the business contents. So these contents are being created, are being developed by SAP, by SAP partners, by SAP customers. So all those contents which are being developed by a lot of people across the world. So they put in one place. So everybody can leverage those contents. So for instance, I tell you one thing, like if you give to go to the object types, and there are a lot of things. So as we move along, you will learn. So let me show you business object. Okay. So for instance, you want to store the material information in your data warehouse. that information is coming from your ERP solutions, ERP systems. So how you proceed? So the one way is you create from scratch. The other thing is you need to use the contents, the objects which are already being provided by SAP. So all the objects which are being provided by SAP, they start with 0. So you type here 0 material and press enter. So it's being shown here, material. Okay. So let me double click it. See, so it provides a lot of information. So it's showing the product, it's showing the competitors, the basic material, lot of objects you people have. So there is no need to recreate the objects. So SAP provide lot of reports, lot of business this info objects, and provides lot of queries, lot of extractors which help to extract the data from SAP ERP. So that's the beauty. So you don't have to recreate everything from scratch. So that's the beauty of this business contents. So whenever you're going to do some project and you need certain objects, certain structures, so you have to look into this area first. If those objects are already there, you have to reuse them. So that's one thing. The other, the good thing about SAP BW is the best practices. So if you are doing some SAP business warehouse project for oil and gas industry, so for oil and gas, SAP provide the best practices. You just have to install that, then you will be having all the structures, all the reports, which are needed, which are required, which are being developed by oil and gas industry. So that's are the strengths of SAP BW. So you people are not going to do everything from scratch. And other thing is the metadata repository. So when you connecting with the SAP ERP, so you don't have to like recreate all those tables, all those stuff, all those stuffs again here in BW. So you will be importing the metadata here and you can use that. So let me start small and let's focus with the modeling. Okay. So do you people need break for 5-10 minutes? Hello, Wahid.
Yes, I think
Okay,
5 minutes
so
break is
Yes.
required.
how long? Five
Yes,
ten
a
minutes?
short break would be.
Yeah, 10
I think
minutes.
10
10
minutes.
minutes, please.
Okay, we will resume by 10:30, so 15 minutes break.
Thank you. Thank you.
But meanwhile, if anybody has any question, I'm available. Let's resume. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So, Mr. Wahid,
Yes, sorry, sir.
Mr. Wahid, I have a question for you.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, please share the smallest object when you like developing the data warehouse. Sorry, database.
When developing what?
Database. What's the smallest object?
Smallest object could be a field, I think.
Good, very good, lovely, great. So you have a lot of fields, and those the group of fields will be your the group of similar or alike fields will be your table, and set of related or associated tables will be your database. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
So that's
Perfectly
that.
fine.
So that's the way we structure the database. Mr. Naseeb, are you back? Okay. So let's talk about SAP BW. So in SAP BW, what's the smallest object? So that's important to know, as that's important in database. So let me share. So this is something where you do the modeling. So you create the objects. So the smallest object we call it info objects. So okay. So let me show you one thing. What do you see here, Wahid?
See an option which says like if you want to create an info area.
Okay. So this is the top node, or it's a top folder which contain your objects. So this is something first you need to create. So this is let's create it. So info area. So let's name it SAP underscore BW, and we can prefix with the info area. So Wahid, you able to understand this thing? So we created a top folder, so which contains all the objects, all the structures. It makes some sense to you?
Okay. Does it, this is the way how we actually arrange our objects here
Yeah. So you need to
in
have,
a hierarchical.
yeah, in a hierarchical fashion. So this is something. So you able to understand info area. So this info area is a folder which helps to organize the objects which you create, objects or structures which you create or develop in SAP BW. It's okay?
Perfectly fine.
I hope you don't mind. I'm trying to be interactive and I need somebody to validate my understanding of what I'm saying. So if you go to this area, so what you see here? Here you see you can create info area within an info area. You can cascade. But here we don't need to do this. Okay. What else you can do? You can create info object catalog. So in in SAP BW, the smallest object is the info object. So if you relate this with your database, in the database, the smallest object is the field. But in SAP BW, the smallest object is your info object. You can think like it's a field. So you need to create the field here. So but you may be creating lot of fields which are related, so you going to create the catalog which will be like organizing all the objects. So let's create it.
So
Okay.
does that mean that info objects will be organized into a catalog and different catalogs will be organized into an info area?
Lovely, great, lovely, Wahid. So but if you see like here, there are two types of info objects. The one is characteristic, the other one is key figure.
And that means like one will hold maybe something like primary key or other may be holding values for that.
Yeah, you are right. So this characteristic means you're containing or holding the the textual data, or you can say the dimension things if you want to relate this with the dimension directly at this moment. So this characteristic is containing your textual thing, and key figure will contain the numbers or measures. For instance, in a business, you have the price and you have the material. So material name will be your characteristic and your material price will be your key figure. Could you kindly repeat this concept? So what's the steps? So first you need to create the info area, and in that info area you will be creating the catalog. So there are two types of catalog. One catalog will be holding characteristic, another catalog will be holding key figures. And your characteristic will be like containing the product name, customer name, participant name, and your key figure will be the price, the quantity, like stuff. Could you kindly take 1 minute and repeat this stuff for everybody?
Okay, what I understood is that in data warehouse workbench, when we are going for the modeling, first we have to create an info area, which is the top level folder. Then in that info area, we create info object catalogs, multiple info object catalogs, and then in each catalog we create info objects. And as you mentioned, info objects could be of two types. One is character, and the other one is the key figure. Character type basically holds all the character values, as you mentioned, like maybe the name of your products or the your region names and something. And then the key figures will be having like your sale figures, your inventory values, and other stuff.
Wait, that's great. Thank you for
Am I right?
yeah, you're perfectly all right. So thanks for repeating and saying all these things again for everybody. So here I'm creating the characteristic catalog, info object catalog. So info object catalog for characteristics. So so here you see, so this info object will be this info area. So this is the same info area which we already created. So it's just picking that. So I'm just clicking here create. So I will be having this. Let's refresh it.
And Salsa, one quick question.
Yes,
Can
please.
we relate this character info object or the key figure info object as the dimensions and facts? Or
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
I'm
Give me a few moments. I'm will be happy if you like give me the answers. So at this moment, the
okay.
answer is no. So this is key
Okay.
figure is not the dimension. So it's characteristic. It's not the dimension, and your key figure it's not
Okay. It's
the.
just the it's just as you said the field. A field may hold a character values or a numeric value.
But here we
That's it.
have something more than the other people having or explaining. So it's something great. So
Oh.
you will learn like the dimension will be having lot of characteristic,
Mm-hmm.
right? For
Okay.
instance, you say the dimension is customer, and that customer may have a lot of characteristics. I hope you able to understand.
Exactly. A customer may have its name, may have its phone number or email
Its
or
address,
other characters,
yeah,
other attributes.
yeah,
Obviously.
yeah. So I'm not able to see here the info area. Is right? A catalog I am not able to see. So in order to see the catalog, you have to activate it. So here is the button. You need to activate. The shortcut is Control F3. So I'm clicking here. So it's being created. So you see here catalog for characteristic. So let me repeat. So the first thing is you need to create the info area. So in info area, you're going to create the info object catalog, and the smallest object in SAP BW is info object. And there are two types of info objects. The one is characteristic, the other one is key figure. So here I created the info object catalog for characteristic. Now the next step is I'm going to create the info object. So if you go to the characteristic, you will see create info object. So I'm going to do this. So what's the name you're going to give? So I'm saying it's a SAP BW participants. SAP BW. So I'm interested to load all the information which I gathered at the beginning of this session, like the first name of the participant, the last name, the degree, the experience, and the expectation. So just I want to load all this information in SAP BW. So that might be interesting for you. So your information will be in SAP BW, and then we will do the reporting. So I'm going to create this characteristic. I'm calling it SAP BW. So SAP BW participants. Okay. So you see the check mark. So this is the data type. So participant name, I'm saying it's a string, and its length is, let's assume it's 10. So I'm saying this. Okay. Here you see different tabs. So I'm not going into detail of everything. So I pick just one concept and I will derive it. So you are not getting confused with a lot of stuff. So what I did, I created info area, I created info object catalog, and that info object catalog, I'm just trying to create the characteristic. So this characteristic is the smallest object. So let's do this. Okay, so this is required. You need to give the data type. So there are different data types, like it could be integers, it could be datetime, it characteristic. So there are 4 different types. I'm calling it a characteristic. It's a character string. Okay. So if you go to the master data text, so I'm considering like the data which I collected today about regarding my participants, that's a master data. So that's not the transactional data. So you see, and this master data is with master data, and it has text, it has the language as well. So let me go to the attribute. So my file is having lot of attributes. Let's see that file. So where is that file? This is the file. Let's save this file and CSV. Okay, I have this file. Let's move this file to the client. So I moved that file to here. So if I open it, so what do you see in this file? So I need to capture this information. So this participant ID is my this so this participant ID is your characteristic which you just created. So I'm calling this part SAP BW participant is the characteristic, and I'm considering these are the attributes of the participant. I hope you agree with me. So I'm saying like their expectation, their experience, and all these information we can consider as attributes. So let's start with this. So I need to have attribute name as first name. You press enter. So you have to create. So every attribute is a characteristic in itself. So when you click it, so it's saying the attribute. So you say it's okay. So the length should be up to 9. So it's okay. So you see it's a characteristic thing, the same window we having. First name, data type is characteristic, the length I am taking 30. So here you see here it's attribute only. So you can't uncheck it. So I'm say okay. And if you go to this thing, So it's not attribute only. So it has the attribute, but in the attribute tab, this first name is just the attribute. Let's create the last name. I'm going to create it. Last name, characteristic. I'm saying 30. And you can check this lowercase, so it will accept the lowercase as well. Otherwise, you have to give in the capital. So do this for as well. Okay. Then I'm giving a degree. Degree. Characteristic 10. Okay. It might be lowercase as well. Let's give experience. Okay, so what we did here, we created one characteristic SAP BW, and SAP BW will be, in fact, from this sheet will be your participant ID 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and the other will be treated as attributes. Wahid, I want your opinion on this. You happy, or you agree with this strategy?
Trying to digest the information.
So what I did, I want to capture this Excel sheet information in SAP
Okay,
BW. In SAP BW. So can I
okay.
say like this information is regarding the training participant?
Yes.
So this ID is just the training participants, and other
So
are the attributes of the participant.
okay, so what we are saying is participant ID is basically the main characteristic, and all other fields are the attributes of these participants.
Yeah, that I'm saying.
Okay.
Make some sense.
Yes. So how we will bring the participant ID into our characteristic info object
Yeah, that's
like
that's the
1 to
task.
7?
That's the task for today's session. So we will do this. So what I did, I
Okay.
created one characteristic for the participant ID, right?
Okay.
And put
Okay.
all the other as a attribute in that characteristic.
Okay.
And please mind it. And every attribute is itself a characteristic, as you seen when we
Yeah.
creating the attribute. So here here is the, like, you have first name, last name, degree, and experience are the attributes of what?
Attributes
Att-
of participants.
Attributes of SAP BW. We SAP BW participant, right? Okay. Let's activate it. So what the system is saying? It's saying like the dependent inactive objects exist. Activate these objects as you like seen, I created lot of attributes and I haven't activated those attributes. So the system is saying like it has dependent inactive objects. So should it activate those objects as well? So my answer should be activate, yes. So I'm saying okay. So it's activating everything now. What this activating means? Because
Why, Salsa, why?
activating means
I'm
these
sorry.
these objects will be like created in the system. Before it was just the form. I'm just putting the like some information on the form. I need to send these information to the backend as well. You getting what that activate means? If I say type something here, that's not being pushed to the system. It's not stored anywhere. So in order to store in the system, I need to activate. Then it will be stored. So Vahid, you have some question. Please go on.
I was just wondering that activation, is there any save here? We can save this data for later activation.
Yeah, you can do that. You just press this save.
Okay, okay. So,
If
so
you
save is just saving the information, but activation would be actually physically making those objects and
no,
dependent
when you
objects.
saving, that's again saving in the backend system. But those objects are not usable.
Okay,
You can't put the data in these characteristic in these objects. So when you activate, then they are ready to capture the data, to store the data in these objects.
okay, makes sense.
Okay, good. Fair enough. Okay.
Or
Okay, going back. So you seen here. So you have the catalog. In that catalog you have degree, you have experience, first name, last name, and SAP BW participant. It's fantastic. It's all right. So, so,
Yes.
so let me summarize. So as I explained at the beginning, in a data warehouse, it's a warehouse. So you need to have almaras, you have to have shelves to put the objects in an organized way. So whenever somebody asks to fetch something, so that object or that thing is stored in a structured way. That will save the space and that will uh, that will reduce the like fetching time. So that's the objective. So what I did, I just created certain objects. I haven't given the structure to these objects so far. So I'm just creating the objects which can contain the data. So I just want to have this file to be loaded to SAP BW. So that's my target, that's my objective. So I created the objects which can contain these type of data. Wahid, you agree with this?
Yes. Sir, I have one question.
Yes, please.
That means that if we talk in terms of business, so info area, as I can see on the top of this list, could be a certain area in your business or a company, suppose the financial management. And then for each catalog, you maintain like its payables, its receivables, and then in every catalog says receivable, you have the related info objects. So
Yeah,
this is how it is supposed to be used,
yeah,
right?
yeah, Wahid, lovely explanation. Yeah, you are perfectly all right. So, but at this point in time, my point is in a Excel file you have certain fields. and those fields should correspond to certain objects in the SAP BW. What are those objects? How you create them? So that's we did so far. Is that right?
I can understand that.
Okay. So let's move on. So let's start with the in the modeling what you see here, source system. So you have a lot of source systems here. So you have a SAP BW as a source system. As I explained earlier, like in BW, you may have other BW as sources. Okay. So you have SAP ERP as a source system. So you can connect with it. This is a these are also source systems, ODP. So ODP is your, let me Google it. I just forgot the name. Yeah. ODP is operational data provisioning. So this is something newly added. This is operational data provisioning. This means in real time you can, because SAP BW, SAP ERP, and a lot of other systems are already on SAP HANA. So all the data, all the information is in the memory. So you can leverage this functionality, this power. So you can like you if you have the operational data, so you can provision that in the real time. So you can treat those as real-time extractors. So you have ODP for BW, SAP, SAP HANA. If you have some data on SAP HANA, you can bring that data to BW. SLT, SAP Business by Design, other context. So these are like some operational data provisioning functionality. So there are some sources which are on HANA, and you can get data from those applications in SAP BW on the fly in real time. So that's something. Okay. SAP also has one ETL tool which is called SAP Data Services. If you have some third-party applications and you want to use SAP Data Services, which is a sort of a middle tier, which extract the data from third party, do the transformation, and then push in SAP BW. So you can use that SAP Data Services. By after saying this, as I said earlier, this SAP BW is also ETL tool. Like you can connect with any source. You can do the transformation. You can do the loading. So then, what's the point in having another ETL tool like data services? The point is, if you have a lot of systems and you want to relieve some burden from SAP BW, for ETL purposes, you can do that, and you can push that ETL load to some other system like SAP Data Services, which do the extraction, loading, and then it load data to the SAP BW. So you can use this. You can use, if there are some external systems, you can connect with those systems as well. You can connect with file. There are DB Connect and there are UD Connect. These two are used to connect with the databases. You can connect with the web services as well. So these are the type of source systems. So these type of systems you can, from these type of system you can fetch the data. You can connect with these and extract the data. So that's something about the source system. Okay. So then the question is, there must be some technology, there must be some software component which make the connection with these type of data sources and then extract the data and push in SAP Business Warehouse. And what's that technology? Let's try to see that. So let's go to the next slide. So this slide is, you have relational databases, you have like two types of UD Connect and DB Connect for the relational databases. You have SAP Service API which connect with SAP source systems. You have file interface which connects to the files, web service which is connected with the XMLs. There is some staging BAPI business APIs which is going to be used with SAP Business Object Data Services or some legacy applications or with Oracle and with other stuff. So by using these technologies, you can connect with the different source systems and then push the data. You extract and then load the data to SAP BW. And in which layer? You load the data to PSA, which is the data source. In the same structure, in the same format, there is no transformation in being done in this extraction thing. So that's something I want to explain. So as we seen, there are there are source systems and you use different technology you to connect with source systems, to extract the data and to push the data to PSA. So that's the first step. And from this PSA, you have to move the data to the info providers. And there are different info providers. As we just seen, like there is one characteristic info object we just created. So the first thing is we need to connect with the Excel file, read the data, push in PSA, and then from PSA to we need to put that data to our info object. Wahid, you clear with this idea or you have any question?
It seems okay, but does this PSA area is a kind of a staging area?
Yes, it's the persistent storage area. It's a staging. Yeah, you are right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, then next.
So we will connect to our Excel file, then bring to PSA, and from there, if we have to do any transformation, if any, we will do it there and then load directly into BW info objects
Yeah.
we created.
So at this moment, what's the structure we have? We have just one info object, one characteristic info object, right?
Yes, yes.
So
Having different attributes,
yeah,
multiple attributes.
different attribute. Yeah, you're right. So this is the characteristic info object is used to store the master data. Can I say that?
Yes, I think.
Okay. Okay. So let's see the next thing. There is one function available. We call it info package. And what's the role of this info package? Info package is fetching the data from source system and load to the PSA. And then there is another function, we call it as a data transfer process. What this data transfer process will do, it extract the data from PSA and load it to the info provider. So let me show you different types of info providers first. So there are a variety of info providers. So if you go here, info provider, right? So let me show you something. Is your info area info provider? No. Info area is just the folder, top level folder, just the container. It's a container having the info providers and other objects. Your info cube is an info provider. Your data store objects, this data store objects is containing the detailed level information. It's a lowest granular like data it's containing. And then you have multi-provider, you have virtual provider, you have info set, you have hybrid provider, you have aggregate level, you have open ODS, you have characteristic. So from here, from info cube to characteristic as info provider, these are the info providers. These objects can be used in the queries to fetch the data from these structures and to show it to the user. Wahid, can you repeat all this stuff?
So, so we have different info providers here, as you mentioned. Out of that, you told us like data store object is the most granular level of the data, and then on the top of it we can have info queue, multi-providers, virtual provider, and the full set you just described. And you also described the info area, which is just the first hierarchical folder where we are sorting or all the objects.
Okay, great. So today we creating just this last thing. We just trying to create the characteristic which we already created. Now we trying to load the data in this characteristic. So it will be a info provider. So we can query it and we show something from this object. And later on we will touch everything. We will create the info cube. We will create DSO. We will create multi-provider. We will create other info providers as well as we progress. So that's something I want to show. So this is something the info provider thing. So to move the data from source system to PSA. So which object you're going to use? You're going to use info package. So info package is used to move the data from source system to PSA. Then there is another object which is the DTP, which is used to move the data from PSA to info provider. And and please do remember, like this is having the same structure, the source system and the data source. They both having the same structure and the same data. But here you're moving from PSA to the info provider, the characteristic. So there is no communication, there is no linkage between these two objects. So here you need to do the mapping, and maybe you need to do some sort of transformation by applying certain business rules. So so in order to use this DTP, you need to create the transformation which map the fields a characteristic of PSA with the info provider. So we will do that in a while. Okay, let's do that.
So, Sadham, you mean to say that from the source systems, we will just extract the data and put it in PSA, and from there on we will have the mapping from PSA to info provider
Yeah, exactly.
and apply or
Yeah, perfect. And which object we use to move
and
the data from source to the PSA?
that's info package.
Okay, and move from PSA to target?
That was something I don't
DTP,
remember the name.
data transfer
Package data transfer.
process, DTP. You see it?
Okay, and okay. So one more clarification. We created the info objects before, right?
Yeah, you
And
need it.
now those info objects will be loaded into info provider, which is available for querying
Yes,
by the user, right?
yes, exactly. You are right. So let's do that. So first you need to create the source system. So what's the source system we have right now? So we have the file. So let's create a source for this. So I'm just going to create a file source system. Let's say it's a flat file. Flat file. Okay. Okay, you see like a flat file source system is being created. So how we use this? This is just the connection. Okay, so how we use this? We go to the data source. So here you remember like we created the info area, and what's the purpose of that info area? The purpose of info area is to organize the info objects or the info provider. So here you have like you also want to organize the info package or data transfer process and the other stuff and transformation you want to organize. So if you go to the data source and you click right click here, and it's saying like create application component. It's just again a folder which organize the things. So we call it SAP BW SAP BW application components. I'm saying okay. So I see here application components. Okay. So what's this? This is just a folder. So next I need to create the data source. What this data source? Data source is in fact your PSA as we seen in the slide. So let's create it. So in this data source, what's the source system? The source system is your flat file. So if you click here, why is the file which we created is not showing? Okay, so which we created? We created this file. This is the source system. So what's the SAP BW data source? Okay, Wahid, are you with me? Okay, so what's the data source data type? You just guess. It's a transactional data, or it's a master data, or it's a hierarchy, or whatever.
Uh, it's a master data.
Okay, good, very good.
Okay.
So if you click here, it's showing the different data source data types. So data source data type could be your transactional data, your master data text, your master data attributes, your hierarchies, your segmented data. We talk about all these later on, but right now it's a master data text or it's a master data attributes. Wahid.
Attributes.
It's a master data attribute. So I'm clicking here. Okay. I'm saying it's okay. Yeah. It's showing me something. So SAP BW data source. Okay. Go to extraction. So here we have different types of adapters. Like, what's the type of file? So load Microsoft Excel file from local workstation, or is it a binary file, or it's a text file? So you need to pick the right thing. So currently we have this thing. Okay. So what's the file name? So here you need to pick the file. So I'm browsing it, and I have this file on my desktop. This is the file. This is the file. Okay. What's the sheet? Maybe you in a worksheet you have lot of workbook, you have lot of sheets. So I'm using this one. Header row to be ignored? Yes. How many header rows? One. So this is something you have to get this. So now we go to the proposal. So if you click here, load example data. So what this, okay. So it's giving me everything. The participant ID, first name, last name, degree, experience, expectation, everything. So I'm happy. Okay. So go to the fields. So we got the fields as well. Go to the preview thing. So read preview data. You want to activate? I'm saying yes. So when you click activate, what that means? That means the table PSA, persistent storage area, the table will be created in the database. Okay, so this is something, the first name, last name. So this table will be created. So if you want, this is your manage PSA, persistent storage area. If you click this, you see nothing. So Vahid, what's the problem? Why we don't see this? The data is not in the persistent storage area. Vahid.
I think we just brought in the file, but we didn't map them to the info objects we created.
No, that's not the reason. You try to remember two things, the info package, or you see the data transfer process.
Okay. So we need to create an info package to bring the data from this file to ESA.
Yeah, so this is just the connection with your file. You just made the
Okay.
connection with the file. So you need some function, you need something which will move this data from your file. You have the connectivity to BW in a business warehouse. So you need something. It's all right. Okay, let's create that. So you activated it. Just refresh it. Okay. So you created this data source, right? Wahid.
This is the data source we created.
Yeah. So you right click here, and what do you see? You see create info package. You click here. You give it some fancy name, info package, SAP BW. So this you see, like this is master data attributes. You say save. Okay. So here you see extraction. So from where the data is extracted, the same file and everything is replicated. So processing only PSA. So update, full update. Schedule, you can schedule it, but I want to run right now. So you just start. So you get some dump. RSA1, let's do it again. Okay. This is the monitor. If you go this monitor thing, so if you click here, you see like in this persistent storage area, you see how many records. If you click here, the 7 records you will be able to see. I'm sorry the system is a bit slow. Otherwise, just 7 records, it's hardly take. less than a second. Wahid, meanwhile, you want to explain what we did? Starting from info area.
So, okay, so what I remember is uh, uh, in the data warehouse workbench, we started off with organizing our objects into a certain fashion, and we started off with the info area, and in the every info area we created catalogs to
Info
move
object
the
catalog.
sub exactly, and then the info objects into the catalogs. Once we
There are
created
two types of catalogs. One is for characteristic, the other is for key figures.
exactly, and in our case we created the characteristic info object.
Yes.
Then for the characteristic info object, we also created the attributes to it.
Yeah. And
So
then
after we created this, then we created a data source, right?
data system first, which is your file.
Data system,
Sorry, source system.
a source system, okay. There we actually put the connection information into it,
Yeah,
or
but
the structure of.
yes, you're right. So then we created the data source. In data source, we provided the path to the file.
Okay. And then then we created an info package to move the data source into the PSA area.
Yeah. So that's we doing currently.
Exactly. And
And
now
then
we will create a DTP to move the data from the PSA to actually the info provider.
yeah. So then that info provider will be available for reporting. So if somebody asks like, give me the list of participants with certain attributes of SAP BW training, so I can do that. So that information is my data warehouse. I can report it. So this is the master data report.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So tomorrow
And
we will.
meanwhile, as we created the info package, so we also mentioned there the extraction schedule of it, when we want to schedule and how we want to update the data and the
Also,
logic of
yes,
extraction.
great. I don't know why it's taking too long.
I think that it is basically trying to weight the experience of the people with like 30-year experience, 10-year, 8-year experience. So that's why maybe it's taking time.
Yeah, maybe it's just gauging the experience which is in that file. You're right. So tomorrow we will extend this discussion with master data, and in the next week we will start with the InfoCube, and then later on DSOs with the virtual provider, multi-provider, InfoSet. So we will talk about like all these info providers, and we will try to like put the data, load the data in these info providers, and later on in the last few sessions, we will do the administration part. So how we like schedule the different process chains. So what's a process chain? We will learn in a while, I guess. So these things we be going to do in the coming weeks. I hope it will be interesting. What you say? What comes to your mind? It's irrelevant or it's something. Right now we people doing the ETL. We extract it and we load it to the data warehouse, and later on we do the transformation. So this is ETL we people doing, and fetching the data from variety of sources and putting in certain structure. And that's the scope of this training. How you see this?
I think as I'm doing a BI project, EDW project currently, so I can very much relate to what you're talking about and what you have just told. So to me, it seems very interesting and very intuitive. Although for just bringing in one Excel file, there is a whole lot of process involved. But I can think when there are complex scenarios, then this structure approach will be very helpful. But for just importing one single Excel file, it seems to me too much rigid process.
The point is,
But
like,
overall,
if you keep updating that Excel file, the data will be updated here as well, right?
exactly that. File or any other source, you have to follow the steps they have provided.
I don't know what's the problem. Can we extend for 5-10 more minutes, so it's come back and we do end-to-end process DTP and move the data to the, or we finish now and continue from here next time? It's not coming. Maybe some internet problem or something.
I think let's ask the rest of the participants. Maybe they
It's,
have their commitment.
it's okay with you?
For me, it's okay. So it's giving you a message that it has actually moved into PSA. The data is moved into PSA.
Where I'm not getting that message.
It's it's in the back of this window. If you like move the front
Yeah,
window to the right.
data is moved, but I just want to see that. That's what I'm trying to
Okay.
do. Let's terminate the session and log in again. What's the transaction, Wahid?
Don't remember.
RSA1.
RSA1.
Don't remember the transaction code. Still, we can move to the workbench through any menus or other
Okay.
workflow.
Wait, you see the data is now in PSA.
No, actually, I cannot see the refreshed windows. It's just loading on my side.
Okay. We can wait. Can you
Okay.
see now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so data
Yes,
is
yes.
loaded. So that's one goal. So what next? Now we need to do data transfer process, right? So I'm going to click here. Just refresh everything. I think like there is some problem like while it's hanged during it's loaded the data to PSA twice. So let's zoom to tomorrow and I will fix it and then I let you know what's the problem and how I fix that. And tomorrow we will we resume from here. So what we do tomorrow, tomorrow is something simple. So we go here and sorry, we have to create the transformation first. So what's the transformation? Transformation is info object. What's the info object name? Wahid, you remember? SAP BW, I guess.
SAP BW.
Okay. It's not assigned to an info area. So first you need to assign it to the info area. Info objects. Change it. Info area is IA SAP BW, I guess. Yeah. We activate. Yes. Yes. So go to the data source. Create the transformation. It's info object and name is SAP BW. So info area is info area SAP BW. Yes. So Vahid, here you see like all the things. So first name is going to first name, last name going to last name, degree is going to degree, experience is going to experience, and participant ID is going to SAP BW. And we haven't added this experience in this. We haven't created this attribute. So that's it. So we created the mapping. You just activate. If you need to apply certain transformation, so you can create the rule and then do that. So we will do that later on. And I activate it. And now if you go to here and create the data transfer process, so it's pop everything here. So you don't need to do anything. Just click OK. Okay. So it's different strategies, extraction, update, execute. So you just activate it. Then this execute button will be enabled. So this is active now. So if you press this execute button now, then the data from your PSA will move to your target. So it's being done. So data package 1 records, less than 1 second. So we go back. Now, how you see that data now? Go to info objects, and if you want to see, so click here. So this is the object which you created. Go to master data. So this is these are your attributes, and this is your master data. So click here. It will open the table. So click on this icon. This will give you the contents. Click here. So you see the data here. First name, last name, and all stuff. Wahid. You happy with this?
Why have we this like multiple zeros prefixed?
It's a data type now. We created the int, so it's appended with zeros.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
Up to the length of the number.
yeah. So that's the problem with this. So but you got the data in your characteristic. Now if you want to give me 5 more minutes, then I can show this data because this is the info provider. So you can connect to some reporting tool and then show this data to anybody. Or we do this next time.
I think it's 1 o'clock. Let's do it in the next session.
Tomorrow. So what we did today, so we get the participant data and we loaded that participant data to SAP BW. So for that you need to create the info area, which is just the container of objects, and that info area you need to create the info object catalog. There are two type of info object catalogs. One is characteristics, the other is key figures. So I created the info object catalog for characteristic, and in that catalog I created the characteristic participant ID. And in that participant ID characteristic, I then created the source system, which is the flat file, and then data source. In data source, I connected with the source system, and with the that's in fact the connection with the flat file. And then I used info package, which will push the data from the data source to the PSA, or from flat file to the PSA, which is your data source. So once you have data in PSA, then you need to move that data to your info provider or characteristic. And in order to move that, you need to have the transformation, which map the fields of your PSA to the fields of your characteristic objects. So we did that. In that transformation, after that we created DTP, this which is the data transfer process, and that will move the data from PSA to your characteristic objects. So which we able to see right now in front of us. So that's it. Later on in tomorrow, we will start with putting this data in Business Explorer, because I said like SAP called this BW as BI in about 2006 or before, when they don't bought SAP Business Objects. This is the reporting tool as well. So Business Explorer, we call it BEX. So tomorrow we will create the query, BEX query, on this characteristic and do some reporting. So thanks very much for bearing with me and staying with me for about 30 more minutes. Tomorrow we will resume at 10 p.m. Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay, so thank you. Please share the training
Thank you,
material
guys.
as well.
Yeah, sure. I will do that. If I forgot, so please send me a note, send me a small email, so I will send that. Thank you.